Alright guys, welcome to another video, and in this video I want to open up an XP600 printer head step by step. In the previous video I tried to open up an XP600 printer head, but I didn't really show you exactly how to open it. Right, I had opened it before I made the video, and you can see the link to that video here. But in this video I will really open it in front of you and then show you exactly what's inside the XP600 printer head. In doing so, we'll answer a couple of questions. Why does your printer head get blocked? What really is inside the XP600? Why is it the way it is? And then you'll see the electronic components and all of that. So I need you to stay tuned, and I'll be right back. Before we continue, however, I want you to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and turn on the notification bell. By the time we're done with this video, you would have an idea really how the printer head that's attached to your machine really works, and then that will answer some questions for you just naturally, because at least you know how things work at the very inside of your printer head. So let's get on with it. Alright, so usually an XP600 comes with a case. Of course, this is an old XP600 printer head. You don't want to use a new printer head for this experiment. Why would you risk your money? So besides, it's not very expensive, but again, it still costs about $285 US, which is how much I sell it in case you want to buy. So, but don't use a new printer head for this experiment, and don't make a habit of opening up an XP600 printer head that is currently working in your machine. It's not safe that way. All right. The XP600 printer head has two main sides to it. You have the plastic that I call the funnel in my other video, and then you have the electronic component. Right here, from under this green spot right here, right there, from this plate is where you have the electronic architecture of the printer head, which is basically what does all of the switchings and the signalings that gets to your machine. Ideally, you would connect cables through this holes right here, here, and here, and the pins of the printer head has the exact same amount of pins that your XP600 cables have. So to get to the cavity of your printer head, this 4 screws are just basically what attaches this thing to this place, and you'll soon see in a minute how all of these places connect to some things on the screen. If you look at the face of the XP600 printer head, you should be able to see about 6 lines. Usually that starts from here, 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 here. This is an old printer head, so you probably wouldn't see it. So all of these 6 funnels, which, if you look at that, can you see those holes in those nozzles there? That's where your ink passes through. If you can see what I'm saying, right? Can you see those nozzles right there? Right, all of those nozzles, all those nozzles, all those nozzles. That's where the ink gets into, and when the ink gets into that, it then comes out through this place by a piezoelectric effect that takes ink from this place and then squirts it out from here in the exact image that you sent into it through the computer. So so the colors come in here, and then this board right here jets those ink in the ratio or in the sequences or the quantities that the board on your carriage board works for, right? So you have 2 main boards, the board on your carriage, and then this particular board. The board on your carriage really is what does the electronic colors for your your CMYK color compositions. It's the one that knows which quantity of cyan, magenta, yellow, or black is ideal for this particular pixel. So, but this guy is just the one that takes the signal that's taken from the board and then jets out. So quickly, let's open this guy up. So you get a small screwdriver like this. Like I said, don't do this on your own. So you unscrew this. If you're not very tech savvy, unless you're doing this for experiment purposes, don't remove your XP600 printer head for this test. It's not safe. You can lose a printer head, especially if you don't know what you're doing, so don't do this on your own. But if you have a dead printer head, of course you can do this just to see what's really going on. I'm a big fan of people basically doing these small experiments with a printer. You should be quite curious enough to know how your machine works, and especially that if this is what really brings you money, then of course you want to be quite interested in how these things work. But only on that basis, right? On a dead printer head. I'm sure if you've done printing for about a year with these machines, you should have one dead printer head at least. So instead of throwing that away, you can just use it this way. So you can see we've taken the 4 screws out right now. The first thing that comes off quite easily is the metal plate. The metal plate basically just shields this plate. You can literally print without the metal plates on it. It's like it's compulsory. You have to have the metal plates. No. So you can take the metal plate out, and when you do that, then you now come to the board essentially. So, and if you just need to wiggle this a little bit, and then you have the board out. Ideally, they would use a silicone foam to fasten it to this place. All of that is just for it to make sure that it stays stuck to that space there. So this is your printer head. Actually, this is the printer head. This guy, $285 US. This is it. In case you were wondering, this is it. Nothing special, right? So ideally you should have this barcode. So if it's like the barcode, but the barcode really is just for the company that sold it to you. Nothing special. So it's exactly what I was saying, that you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as the ink inlets, and then they come out through these vents. So this guy, which in your own machine, I don't know what color it is, would be coming out from here, right? And then these 2 colors, which are essentially your cyan, which whatever it is in your color, will be coming out through this place. And then these other colors, right? These 2 colors are these colors. So whatever is in these colors is what will show up here or here, and then whatever is here is what's coming out right here. So if you set it mechanically here, right, what comes out here is what's coming out through here, right? So when you set on A tools, the machine is it's setting those ink configurations based on what you put in these holes, right? So whatever is here must match what is in A tools, because that's what's going to come out electronically in this place, right? So essentially this guy, that's why I said it's a funnel. It doesn't mean it looks like a funnel, but it is, acts like a funnel essentially, because all you need to do is just put ink into this place and then it comes out through this place. Now, so let's quickly answer the question, why does your printer head get blocked? So you see that just by looking at this place right here, you can already see that those nozzles are blocked up, right? Can you see it? They're already blocked up. So if you have not used your printer head for 6 months, that's why it's blocked. Can you see those holes? Because the ink will go through oxidation and then it will dry up, right? So these places do nothing, right? They don't go anywhere, right? They don't go anywhere. So what really counts for printer head is what goes into these holes. These holes. These holes, right? I'm having a tough time. Yeah, can you see those holes? And there's there's about 4 of them. So they're just supposed to prick into your tubing, and then so that inks can go in them. And once the ink go in them, it comes out this way, and then goes first through this rubber, right? So this rubber again is in the exact same sequence of the ink, right? So if you look at this place, it's just a hole. It's nothing going in there. It's just a hole, right? But these other 6 are the ones that do the trick. So if you, because we know this place is what's touching the face, so if you put it back in this way, you know this is how the printer head, you know, came. So this hole will receive from that hole, these 2 will receive from this 2, this one will receive from here, and then these 2 will receive from this 2. So this is just to create a type of suction, so that when this guy sits on it, it knows exactly where to go. So now let's talk about where it goes. Now, so this pretty much is where it goes. Again, it has 6 inlets. This one is just the one that goes in that rubber, right? It's just that this guy right here goes into here, does practically nothing. It's just to hold it in place. So again, you find those same 6 holes, 1 going this way, right? 1 going this way, 2, 2, 1, right? Now, next to these 6 holes, right, which of course, again, if you look at it, it's baked into the cavity of the printer head. Hopefully by the time we break this open now, you'll see really where the inks that go in this place collects into. But you see, next to this particular hole is this electronic switches, right? I don't know if you can see them, switches, these gold switches, right? So next to this guy is these electronic switches. Next to these 2 is this electronic switch. Next to these 2, so this guy goes in here, one of these guy comes here, one of this guy comes this way, one of this guy takes this one, this guy goes this way, and then this guy comes this way. So the electronic switching that controls the piezoelectric function takes ink from this place, does an electronic, takes an electronic signal from a certain material, we'll see it in a bit, this material, and then it's a type of crystal that causes the piezoelectric function to happen. So it takes this ink, right, and then it uses this electronic signal to squirt ink that it receives from this place, I mean from the tank, through a line in this printer head, right, through a line in that printer head. So ideally you should have 6 lines going this way, right? 6 lines, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So old printer head has seen a number of work, so that's why you can't really see those things. But if you buy a new printer head, it will be easy to see, right? So this guy, this is the electronic switch that controls this guy. One of these, this is the electronic switch that controls it. Then this one, electronic switch controls it. This one, electronic switch that controls it. This one, the electronic switch, and then this one, the electronic switch. These guys are dead duds, they don't work. Now again, you can see that this is an electronic circuit, right? So the electronic circuit has some resistors and some capacitors that determine the flow of electricity on this board, right? So pretty much that's like the first phase. Ink comes from this dude over here and then gets into these inlets. And how we know it gets into this inlet is because there's a rubber suction that controls the ink flow. Now next to that, let's look at what really is under the hood here. So for this plate, so this plate now is not like, there's not a lot that this plate is doing. I'll pause this video and get a knife, and then I'll take this top plate out, so you'll see again the same configuration. The things that come out of here actually come out through this place. So give me a second, let me get a knife and I'll be back. All right, so I went ahead and I brought some, like 2 more things other than that. So somewhere in my head, I think a blade will be much better. Don't forget what I said. Don't try this on a working printer head. Only do this on a printer head that is dead. Now, so you see this plate, right? Don't get fooled. The plate is just to control ink flow. We'll see what it looks like under the hood in a minute. So now this is, if you take a blade and then you prick out at this guy at the top, so you see, can you see that peel up? Great. So now that you have that, all you just need to do is use your finger and then pull this up, right? So So you see that it's just a plate, nothing special. It's just a plate. Good. Now this plate, if you look under the plate, you will then see what I was saying, right? That again, you have 6 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So in my previous configuration, magenta was going in this way. There were 2 cyans, there's a yellow, there's a black, and then there's this dude, right? So again, those were the lines I was telling you. If you look here now, very easily you'll see 6 lines. So you see this line, this line, this line, this line. So this line is this 2. There's another 2 lines here, and then the last 2 lines. So these lines really are the ones that gives you that tiny nozzle thingy, right? So when you say you're doing nozzle test, is because this plate is firmly fitted on top of this guy, and because it's firmly fitted with a metallic glue, it has no other outlet other than that tiny outlet, right? And so since that's the only outlet it has, then that's why you have those tiny nozzle tests that you have. But pretty much this is what controls that flow. Without this plate, this will be absolutely difficult to work with, right? So one time I had a printer head problem, and I took this plate out trying to figure out whether it's going to work. And I think it turns out that maybe one of these days I'll try with a new head, just for some experiments to see if I remove this plate on a brand new head, will it work? But for now, I don't think I can afford that, so I'm not going to even try that. Great. So again, let's go back to where we started from. Remember, we had 6 inlets. Great. So these are the inlets, right? You have inlet number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6, right? So you can see now clearly this hole is not necessary. It's just for clipping. All right. So you see again, if I look close, I've got a very good camera. By the way, I use a Google Pixel 7 Pro. So I see a whole lot more. Because of my relationship with Google, now I get to sell Google devices, so in case you want to buy. All right, so you can see how sharp it is, right? So you can see the inlets. Sorry, I jolted the camera. So you can see those inlets a little clearer now, right? So whatever ink goes in from your damper evidently comes out through this place, and then it's been jetted out through this. So you can see all of that, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So those are the outlets for the ink, right? So from my experience, I've realized that this is the collector for the ink, and then it finds its way, in through this place into those nozzles there, and then jets out through these particular nozzles. So this is the nozzle, right? So this tiny film, I suspect, is the diaphragm that does that listens to those electronic signals, and then it jets out through this place. So what does the piezoelectric function? The electric signal that goes into this place, right? This electric signal, you can see that this is an electric signal. Can you see that the electricity enters in through this place, or the electronic signal enters in through this place and through this place into this circuit? The same thing happens here. You can see that circuit was tracing all the way here, and it enters in through this place, right? Again, it enters, you can see the electric signal enters in through that spot, again through this spot in here, again through this spot in here, and then through this spot in here. So you can see that's 1. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So you can see where the electronic signal got into this place, and then because the electronic signal has now been received in this place, this diaphragm becomes active. So when the board on the machine signals to this place to jet ink, then it does its work through this place. So everything you find after here is, I think, the magic of the XP600 printer head, because these cables, right, this thing right here, is actually baked into this plastic. And you'll see in a minute, because I have the intention of destroying this printer head so that you can know really what goes on. Like I said, it's a comprehensive video. If you get bored, you might just close it out and then come back another time. But if not, if you're curious like me, I really want to see what's going on underneath this dude over here. So again, I'm going to pause this video now. I'm going to peel up all of these white things, and then I'll come back and show you what I find under here. Right, so I'm back. This is what we find. This thing was just covering the pins. So this guy is just the pin that is held together by this dude over here, right? And it's fastened to this place by a glue, I see. And then of course it's connected to this plate, and the same thing happens on this other side, right? Good. So, and then aside from that, what you have next is this guy that is pretty much attached to this guy somehow. So if you pry this guy open a little bit, then you would have so it'll break free from that board, and straight away you're going to run into a new problem. And the problem is these guys, because they are clippings. They are actually baked into the cavity, like I said, of this thing. So there's really no way to pry this thing open, right? There's really no way to pry it open without breaking the board. Can you see now that the board is broken? That's one other reason why you shouldn't try this on like a printer head you're still using, because this is an opportunity to lose it if you don't mind. So then all I'm just gonna do is try to pry that guy open, because I really need to show you exactly what goes on inside. So you can see that there's really no way to get that done other than cutting that guy open, right? And so you can now see that I said these things are pins, right? And like I said, it's baked into the cavity of the printer head. Can you see? It runs all the way from here, right? From this outside, and then runs like from this outside and runs into this place, right? So can you see it? So this film, like I said again, goes into this place, this place. Now you can see that by the time we opened this guy up, you can see that these inlets actually are baked into this cavity, like I said. So the ink that you put into your machine actually goes into this cavity. This board is just the electronic signal that gets the ink doing what you want it to do. So the very essence, when we say, well, the XP600 is an electronic component, this is what we mean by the electronic component. Now, this film is that electronic component. This thing is the electronic component. This is why if you put ink into your machine, it will still come out regardless. But will it do nozzle test? It may not if any of these films is bad, right? So, well, I'm pulling ink. Yes, it's coming out normally because yes, it is both a mechanical device because it's mechanics, right? It's matter, it's right. But the electronic component in this dude is these things, these things, right? And there's almost no way to pry this thing open, right? So this cavity in relation to this metals here are the reason why you get your nozzle test done, which of course eventually is how you get your printing to happen. So the ink actually does go into the printer head, but all of this is built to get you the ink only when you need it. So when we say piezoelectric, this is the device we are talking about, right? This is the miracle of the piezoelectric effect, this thing right here. You will find this in a DX5, an i3200, a TX800, Ricoh head, whatever the head is. Basically, this is it, right? It is an electronic, a device that collects liquid and jets it out just in time using electric signal. So when we say crystals and all of that, basically this is what we're talking about, all of these things, right? So this is how the piezoelectric effect works, through these cables. So this cable is what essentially passes power to this thing to make it jet out ink through these vents, right? I hope this has helped you. So this can answer so many questions for you. Why is your printer head drawing lines? Why is it that you are pulling ink and then you're not doing nozzle test? Like, this is not just a mechanical device, it is an electronic device. So while ink can come out manually, and I love the camera of this phone, it's just showing me everything I need to see. Can you see? While you can say you're getting the ink is passing through, it doesn't have to do nozzle test because ink is passing through. Can you see that there are 6 of these crystals here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Can you see also that the films are 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So pretty much that is what an XP600 printer head looks like in a teardown, right? It's a miracle of a technology. If anybody looks you in the face and say this is a mean feat, they're just joking with you. This is precision mechanics, right? When they say a device is a mechatronic device, this is what they're saying, right? It's both mechanical and then it's both electronic. Now, I hope this video has helped you. If you've made it this far in the video, I should congratulate you. At least now you know better what is going on. If you're an engineer, this should help you to be able to know, maybe not to fix it because you can't fix this thing. Can you really fix this? Tell me if you can fix this. If you can fix it, you can leave a comment in the section below. And I might even give you a free printer head if really indeed you can fix this, right? So, but trust, don't quote me, don't come back, don't come ask. We're just kidding. I'm not giving you a printer head, just kidding. Right, but the thing about it, this is it. I hope this has helped you. If it has, I want you to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, turn on the notification bell, and I will see you in the next video. Bye. Take care.